What's up, people? We are live with the MMA Mainstream Podcast. I'm James, of course, as always, joined with my co-host Kaelyn. Kaelyn, how you doing?
It's Friday, so that's always a plus.
Oh, that's a great plus.
Ready for another weekend.
It's the best plus.
After last weekend's long weekend.
Oh, yeah. We haven't been on in a few weeks because of some stuff going on in our personal lives, but we're back. Unfortunately, we've had a situation with Facebook, so we're not airing to Facebook right now, but we are on YouTube, which I just got the notification, so they do have notifications about it. So we are on YouTube currently. We hope to be back to Facebook soon and up to date with all your current information that y'all like to hear from us as we like to run our mouths. So yeah. We're going to start off with last week's fight, which was a pay-per-view. Adesanya wins the unanimous decision over Jared Cannonier.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I've heard a lot of people complaining about that fight, and I didn't see it. You watched it.
I did. You know what I did
on the bout?
You know what I did for I haven't done in a super long time is I went out to a bar and watched it. Like the bars that we went to Press Box and watched it there. I haven't done that in at least a couple years.
That's a good spot to eat at if you're in the 559. If you're in the Columbus, Fresno area, that's a good spot to eat at and watch sports. That's all they're a sports bar, literally a sports bar.
Yeah. So and I guess they've always been playing them. I just didn't know who currently plays them anymore because I feel like it's a little more rare. I don't know if it's because they don't want to buy them or not, but I was like, you know what? I'd rather go sit.
I have a question. Do you have to pay a cover charge?
Yeah, but it was $20 a person, and I'm like, okay, that's way better than $75 off of ESPN Plus. So I'm like, we might as well go.
That's true. Were you able to hear the commentators?
No, barely. It was so loud in there, and the sound wasn't all the way up. I felt like there's so many people in there, so it was really hard to hear. I wish. Why did something happen? I didn't.
No. I'm curious because I haven't done anything like that literally in a decade. It's been 10 years since I've done that.
Normally,
because I would go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
Right, and normally Buffalo Wild Wings is pretty good about their sound. Like it's super loud when it's on, and you can hear a bit. I feel like normally you can hear. Maybe their sound just wasn't all the way up, which whatever. But yeah. And but that was fun. I haven't done that in a long time, and I figured you might as well sit there. If I'm gonna pay for it, I'm gonna go get some beers and food, and it might be a little bit cheaper than staying home and paying for that crap, which is so annoying. But anyways, yeah.
Now, okay,
just start doing that from now on. Actually,
Adesanya came out dressed as the Undertaker and got
that was awesome.
From
I
the
like
Undertaker.
That. I thought that was funny.
That was cool with the pro wrestling entrance and especially getting props.
The urn
from said wrestler. That was pretty dope.
I like that. Only problem with that is that, you think when someone puts on a gimmick like that something crazy is about to happen. And nothing crazy happened in that fight. So it was a little...
Yeah, there's a lot of hype with Adesanya, and yet he goes to decision a lot, unfortunately.
But okay, yeah, it does go to decision a lot. But normally his fights are very exciting because he fights, all the top guys. So and I always remember that fight with Anderson Silva is crazy. It's like watching a duplicate of Anderson Silva. It was pretty cool. That being said, and I like Jared Cannonier a lot. I think he's really tough. He's a really good fighter. I thought this fight was going to be really good. But it was okay. Nothing. I can't even think of anything significant that happened in all of those rounds. So that sucks. But it was an okay fight. He won. But honestly, watching it when I went to the judges, I'm like, man, I don't know. I didn't really notice anything significant. So maybe they might go the other way. I don't know. But I know when you have to beat a champion, you have to really beat the champion to get that win. So, it is what it is. I don't know. The fight was okay, I guess. It was nothing that stood out. I don't really want to watch it again either, so I can say that.
One person had a complaint, and that was Henry Cejudo.
Oh, that little
He
child.
hypes a lot and doesn't deliver. as he referred to Adesanya.
Well, this dude is like munchkin, and he talks a lot for being someone that wants to be retired. So, I feel like I don't know. I don't know if it's like an ego thing where he has to stay relevant, so he's got to say something. I don't know why he would say that about someone who's so much bigger than him, like in a different weight class where, nothing would ever happen as far as fights go. I don't care about him anymore unless he's going to fight. I'll just put it that way. I don't really don't care what anyone says anymore. If they're not in the UFC and they're talking trash amongst other fighters, it's like, why don't you come back from retirement or whatever you're doing and then start something.
That'd be awesome to see them compete against each other, even though they're completely two different weight classes and two different heights. That'd be like old school UFC. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder if Triple C. Oh, I can't believe I even said that. I wonder if he's going to come back. That would be cool to see him come back, I think. That would definitely hype up his division for sure, I think. So, I don't know. Hopefully this is leading somewhere, like to him at least coming back from retirement, but I don't know.
That we shall see. Also, Chris Pratt apologizes to the champ for being a hypocrite.
I read that, but I also took it as him being sarcastic again in that reply. He probably wasn't, but I think he said something along the lines as like, I'm sorry. I don't, I can't judge someone who's not in that, I'm not in that position type of thing. But when I read it, I was like, that could be going the opposite way. Like, Adesanya is not an actor. So I don't know. He says something along the lines of, I'm sorry. I don't do what you do. And I don't know what it's like to risk it all in that field. And I'm not reading that word for word. Oh, here we go. Yeah. Bugs me when people criticize my work, having never themselves risked anything, which could be taken the other way because Adesanya is not an actor and that's a different risk, I guess, different type of work. True. And then also could go the other way as meaning meaningful and genuine, as if like he's not a fighter, so he doesn't know what it's like. I don't know. It could be, I kind of like that answer because you could take it either way.
See, but this is also, okay, I get where this is coming from. I don't think it's anything towards Chris Pratt. I think it says, I'm the man, you're just some fan. To me, that's saying all the keyboard warriors out there. That's what that's referring to, at least
that's
from
okay.
what I get from it. And so Chris Pratt chiming in, it's like, he's not commenting on you. It was just a scene you happened to be in, and you got hit with a keyboard.
Yeah, but Adesanya's response was a little more malicious than Chris Pratt's original comment. But that's Adesanya, and good for him for coming back with something. But also, I don't think he even really knows Chris Pratt. I don't think he really cares about him anyway.
No. And that movie, Wanted, I'm a huge comic dork, as most people that know me would know. And nothing like the comic. Super dumb. Side note, that's all.
Well, all right.
Yeah, Chris Pratt's in it. Cool, good for him. So is the dude who played Professor X.
Oh, really?
Cool. No. None of those characters look like the comic book characters either. Just putting it out there. That's all.
Oh, weird.
Anyways, moving on.
But yeah.
That was what revolved around the main event last week. Now we go to the featherweight title bout that had Alexander Volkanovsky versus Max Holloway.
Yeah.
That went to decision. You watched it. What were your thoughts?
Volkanovsky is just on another level, I think. Max Holloway, I don't know if it's just that Alexander's on a whole other level, or Max Holloway maybe not be as crisp as he used to be. I don't know. It's something about Volkanovsky that he cannot figure out. I know that because all the other opponents of Holloway, he's figured out and had their number, beat him up for most of the rounds, This one, he couldn't, being the longer fighter, he couldn't find his distance at all. So Volkanovsky found his, even though he's a bit shorter, I think. I don't know what the arm length is.
Did he fight more in the pocket because of Holloway's length?
Yeah, a little bit. But then also, the way Holloway was responding was that he was either not touching him or he was missing. And that's probably just good footwork on Volkanovsky's part. But also, Volkanovsky, I feel like, was, obviously the shorter fighter, but he found his distance, so he was tagging him. Holloway just couldn't find his distance, I think. Couldn't, land the target.
Which is crazy because Holloway has great striking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if Volkanovsky is just that good, which he probably is. And I don't know if Max Holloway just, maybe he's getting older too, which everyone does. But also he's been in wars forever. Max Holloway is whenever he fights, it's always a war, I feel like. So I don't know how much
5-round decision.
Yeah, and I don't know how, and most of his fights were championship fights, obviously, because he had the belt for so long. So I don't know. Maybe it's just your body can't do what it used to do, because at some point, it tends to die down throughout your career. But Volkanovsky had cut him up really bad too. Like there was a straight cut going down the dude's eyebrow, and it was just like props to the cut man because they didn't stop the fight.
I did see that. I saw the highlight. I saw him closing it up.
Yeah, and I don't know why. It's crazy.
Or not closing it up because you can't really close it up.
You can't, but he did a very good job at patching that up in the corner because, it would get real bloody, but it didn't. It wasn't enough for someone to stop the fight. I think the doctor looked at it a couple of times and said it was okay.
He's like, Vaseline, just globbed it on.
Yeah, and for the most part, it stayed on. It really didn't. It wasn't a problem. I mean, it was bad, but it wasn't so much of a problem, which I was impressed. But anyway, it was a good fight, I guess, for Volkanovsky. But I definitely think that these fights are over. Like, let's move on. Let's go to another. I want to see Volkanovsky, have a different opponent. I know he killed, and I don't know who's that left for him because the fight with Korean Zombie was so lopsided. So I don't know who could put up a good fight with Volkanovsky, and I wonder if changing weight classes has ever been a consideration on his part. I don't know. That fight was pretty bloody, crazy, interesting. But yeah. So this next one with Alex Pereira. Oh man. So I like this guy. This guy, Alex Pereira, had knocked out Adesanya in Glory.
I want to say twice. I was reading that earlier.
I think you're right. I know of the one time, but I think it was twice, which was a very, very long time ago. And I don't know how that fight would go nowadays because I know Stylebender has gotten a lot better since then, obviously. I don't know. I would like to say that Stylebender would win a fight against Pereira now. But Pereira's pretty good. He's kind of killing everybody.
Let's see it. He won. He beat Strickland, and Strickland was on his way.
Strickland was, he's been coming up. He's been a big deal. He's been winning fights. He dropped
like a Wish version of Michael Bisping.
Yeah, I know, right? That's funny. But all it took was one hook, and he went down. So that, I like to see that because I know Alex Pereira is very, very, very good. I like to see him succeed in MMA, especially knockouts, since he's been so good in Glory also. So I would really like to see the rematch between Alex and Stylebender, which I think Stylebender actually wants because I think he's been saying that, and I think that's really good, that he's not avoiding him or anything because I think he knows he's better than what he used to be, and I think it would be a really, really good fight.
I have to agree.
So I hope that fight happens, and I hope it's the next one for him. I don't know.
We hope so. I don't believe they've released any information about that yet, but I imagine they will within the upcoming weeks, so fighters can start their camps.
But Stylebender came out with a statement saying, "Let's do it."
Yeah, especially because both of them are healthy. I don't think Stylebender took much damage, and Pereira, he destroyed pretty quick, so he's ready to rock.
Yeah. Oh, another thing I remember, Volkanovsky had broken his thumb in the second round of that fight. I believe
they did put that.
That sucks.
I want to say they put out his X-ray or something like that, showing it off.
Yeah, it looked pretty crazy. So that's interesting. 5 rounds with a broken thumb. That sucks. That's one tough dude. Yeah.
And then fight of the night honors went to the welterweight bout between Robbie Lawler and Brian Barberena.
Yeah, I vaguely remember this one. Which sucks because Robbie Lawler, I kind of don't want to see him fight anymore. He was so
fighting
great
for 20 years.
I know. And I love him. I know everybody else loves him. but I don't want to see him lose anymore, especially all these young guys coming up, because I don't think it gets better after that. But yeah, I love Robbie Lawler. I don't remember too much about this fight. I kind of didn't want to watch it because I knew he was getting beat up.
It's true. It gets depressing after a while when you watch these guys for so long, and then you're like, uh-oh, like this guy is at the end of his career.
Well, I'm wondering how many more fights does he have in his contract? Because I'm pretty sure that's all it is. You know,
pretty much serving out the rest of his contract. And who knows? He might go to bare knuckle. I feel like he'd be well suited for that.
I hope not. I don't think he'd be well suited. I don't think he can get hit anymore.
It just depends, because a lot of MMA fighters get that way, where they can't take the punishment.
Yeah.
But a lot of a dude like him with those heavy hands,
maybe against some chump, for sure.
We'll see.
Yeah.
And then the end of this main card was a no contest with Sugar Sean O'Malley, poking Pedro Munoz.
Yeah, that sucked. I know, and Sean O'Malley would say that he was piecing him up, and maybe not anything significant to me. I don't know. I think it always sucks when someone gets eye poked and stops the fight, because it's almost like, do you really want to see this rematch or just move on? I think you should just move on.
This is a just move on.
Yeah. Pedro Munoz is very good, though. I thought this was going to be a really, really good fight, and I wish that it would have went on, because you never know what could happen. But Sean O'Malley, I think, needs to get back in there very quickly, because
I think Sideshow Bob will.
Yeah.
That's who was.
So I don't know. I hope he gets back in there soon, because I was looking forward to his fight and seeing like where he's at, against someone like Pedro Munoz, who's very good and has been around for a long time. I forgot to look at the rankings. I don't know what's going on with that right now. I know new ones were supposed to come out on this Monday, 4th of July. I don't know what they are now. I don't know if any one of these guys had moved up or if Sean O'Malley even went anywhere. I'm not sure. Munoz was ranked number 9 before this fight, so I don't know where it's at anymore.
All right, well, let's find out. Mm-hmm. That was a bantamweight contest. Let's find out. Let's keep going. Where's it at? Bantamweight.
I wonder if this is current. It should be, huh?
It doesn't look like it's that current, because they're still sitting at the same spots that they were.
I mean, they could just stay at the same spot, though, because of
it being a no contest. Yeah.
So, but anybody that he fights, as long as it's number 9 and up, should be very interesting for Sean O'Malley. So hopefully he gets back there soon.
Very true. And then also Jim Miller beat Donald Cerrone.
Donald
Cerrone decided to retire.
I'm glad.
After that bout.
Yeah, I think it's enough. I love watching him. He makes the fight card really good whenever he's fighting. But definitely don't need to take any more damage anymore. He's got other things going on. I think he's currently in a movie, so he's got other stuff. I don't want to see him get hit anymore. He just gets knocked out.
Unfortunately.
I feel like the retirement was a little late also.
Really?
Yeah.
You think he should have retired sooner?
Yeah, like 4 fights ago. Maybe after Connor,
All right, I can see that. But yeah, he was just talking about the highest of highs and the lowest of lows.
I'm glad he fought Connor, because he got paid. So that's great.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he's doing so well for himself. He has his own gym, so.
He has a ranch. He has his own ranch.
Where he trains at. So it's his own space.
But he's literally a movie star right now. He's in a bunch of things. So, and what's funny is maybe that's why Chris Pratt was there, because he's in a series with him right now. I haven't really watched it yet.
The Terminal List?
Yeah, that one. I guess he's in that one.
Watching that. So Donald Cerrone has retired. We will talk more about retirements coming up a little bit later in this show. But now we're going to move on to this week's fight, which features Rafael dos Anjos and Syed or said Nurmagomedov,
Say yeah, I don't know how to say it.
Jared Vandera, Chase Sherman, Nina Nunes, Michael Johnson. It's a fight night. A lot of young guys looking to make their way, but we do have some experienced fighters on the card as well, especially with Dos Anjos. Are there any fights that you're looking forward to in this card?
Go back down. I believe there's one that I wanted to see down here. Well, I always like to see what goes on with the women's flyweight. So Cynthia Calvillo and Nina Nunes, of course. I don't really have confidence in Nina Nunes anymore. I think Cynthia Calvillo should have this one.
10-7. I can see why you would not have confidence in her.
Every time I see her, it's just, I think she's too busy. She's got too much. I feel like she's too busy with Amanda Nunes in their life, that their fighting is just like a side thing now. Kind of sucks, but also Nina, I think her last name used to be Ansarov. Nah, not really a big deal to begin with, I don't think. So not surprised, but even now, it's definitely like, okay, kind of like a filler. Michael Johnson, I always like watching him fight. Jamie Malarkey, I haven't seen him fight in a while. I think he's pretty good though, but I mean, look at the difference. Yeah, but look at the difference in the experience though. Michael Johnson's been around for a while. He was really great at some point, but I don't know what happened there, but I don't know.
I'm just gonna take Jamie Malarkey just because of the last name.
It's hilarious, I know.
Of course. I've said that before, so I won't repeat it.
I would like to say Michael Johnson would win. I think he should win unless he's got some.
He has a wealth of experience. You think, I mean, it wouldn't be an easy fight necessarily, but you would think with the adversity that Michael Johnson has faced in the cage, that it would be a lot smoother than against a guy who was
he's been around,
not even had 20 fights yet.
He's been around for a while. He's headlined, I think, at least a couple cards back in the day. So we'll see. He should win, but that's about it as far as this. I mean, of course, the main event, you want to see what happens. I know Kyle Bahayo right there, the co-main, is an up-and-comer. A lot of people are talking about his last fight. I forgot who he fought, but it was very exciting. I know the commentators were going nuts about it. I can't remember when it was, but, 11-1, it's pretty good. Armin Petrosian, I've seen him fight a couple times. Nothing really stands out. So we'll see. I don't know, but this fight card doesn't really excite me, but that's not a surprise because when you have a big pay-per-view, the next one's usually.
Yeah, and there's always going to be cards that they have some pretty good fighters, but it's not a card that really stands out like a pay-per-view.
Right. Yeah, of course not. But yeah, you never know because, man, these free fights, I feel like have a good chance of being better than that pay-per-view last weekend.
That would be nice because those title fights went the distance, and
yeah,
a lot of people when they watch a fight, they don't want to see it go the distance. Given it's a fight, they don't have a choice.
It's crazy unless it's like, like I was saying about Max Holloway. Unless it was like a classic Max Holloway fight where it's just a war. That's
very
good
true.
For 5 rounds.
Very true. All right, so that's this weekend. You can catch that on ESPN Plus, ESPN, or maybe perhaps an illegal streaming service, but we don't even talk about that. Let's go ahead and move on to other news. Your favorite, Carla Esparza. He has lucked out.
Oh, gosh.
He doesn't need surgery, but she will need some time off to recover from injuries and will likely compete at the end of the calendar year.
Yeah, I'm not sure what's better, to have surgery or to not have surgery, because if they're saying she doesn't need surgery, who knows what the timeline is on recovery. When you have something significant that needs surgery, at least hey, I'm getting surgery. I need for sure this time. And usually it ends up better, but this could turn into some kind of, I don't even know what the injury is, but it could turn into something nagging that lasts forever and it's just a problem, And who knows when she'll be ready to come back. I feel like she's got that belt for some reason, and usually people don't want to get back in there right away.
Ask Aljamain Sterling.
Kind of like that type of thing. What is the injury? I want to know.
She had MRIs done.
On what?
PRP injection already scheduled. A little physical therapy.
God, of what? Doesn't say what.
2 undisclosed injuries, so we will not know what said injuries are.
Hey, how convenient. It's undisclosed. Okay, cool. Yeah, watching something serious like her back or something.
Maybe she will compete at the end of the year. We shall see.
I hope so, because that's the fight everyone wants, because that's kind of holding up the division. I think she's supposed to fight Zhang Weili. Is that right? I think they said that, right? Okay.
Yes.
So, and then after that, I wonder what's going to happen with, because I'm pretty sure Zhang Weili is going to tear her apart. I'm confident now in saying that. But after that is what I'm more interested in, because if Zhang Weili beats her, which I think will happen, what's it go back to? Rose? I mean, I don't know what's going on with her. She's weird. Kind of pissed me off, that last one. So I don't know. Joanna retired, so God, that's disappointing. I always like her fights. So I don't know.
She was very entertaining as a fighter. She had those bricks in her hands.
I'm surprised that, and maybe it already has, but I'm pretty sure that fight with her and Zhang Weili, the first one, is going into the Hall of Fame. I did not hear about that this go around, so I wonder when that's going to get in there.
So talking about the Hall of Fame also happened recently, and you happen to have some of the names that were dropped into that.
Yeah.
Care to elaborate?
See, I do. So I just kind of watched. I didn't get to watch the whole ceremony. I just watched the highlights. I know DC, Khabib, and Max Holloway are in there now. Also, Giga Chikadze, I was like, man, I saw him on there. I'm like, why is he in there? What the hell happened there? But I guess Forrest Griffin does a community award, which is like, because Giga Chikadze does a lot for charity and community and stuff like that. So they went ahead and give him that award, which is cool. I don't think a lot of people know about Giga Chikadze. At least they don't talk about him too much. I know about him from Glory.
We know about him through, I mean, we've talked about him because of that and through his dealings in MMA. But what did it elaborate more about what he does? For what he did to
I forgot. It's some charity. I forgot what it was. Donating food and stuff like that to their community, stuff like that. It sounded really nice when I was listening to it. So I was surprised because no one knew. I don't feel like nobody knows about him or knows that he did any of that. So that's very, very cool. Also, this is a fight that got into the Hall of Fame, which was Duho Choi versus Cub Swanson. I wish I remembered that fight, but I guess it was epic, and I got to go back and watch it because obviously it was enough to make it to the Hall of Fame. And I don't remember when it was, but I definitely have to go back and watch that because that made it in there. God, so random. I've been a lot of random stuff this year.
That's so cool because I remember seeing that DC being inducted, but then was talking about I may have grabbed the towel, and it's like, man, that's old.
Yeah. Well, he did. Was that a John Jones fight that happened? I don't remember.
That I don't recall, but I'm like, man, dude, that's the past. Like, don't worry about it. They're not going to go back and say it's a no contest or anything.
No, they're not going to go back, but I think everyone knew at the time. And I think I was like, what is he doing? Like, I remember watching him do that. I'm like, what?
He's trying to make weight. So
I know. And he was struggling though. He was really struggling that day. And I'm like, oh shit. And then like, you see him do the little towel thing. So I don't know. But
hold on, guys. Hold on.
But that whole thing sparked because of Charles Oliveira getting his belt stripped because he was 0.5 over on the scale when really DC probably was too, but grabbed the towel and it got in there anyway. So
very true. But that was some of the stuff that happened at the UFC Hall of Fame. And now, so Benson Henderson's wife is a competitor now. She's turning pro.
That's interesting.
Maria Henderson had an amateur run of 3-0, but will now be making her professional debut tonight on LFA 135.
Okay, she's only had 3 fights and she already went pro?
Yeah. Compared to some of the dudes here that are like, man, I got 34 fights. I'm going to go pro now.
They've been fighting since they were like 12.
I was just trying to collect belts, I was trying to look like Thanos.
Yeah.
So she'll be making. She may have already fought. I'm not sure.
Maybe we'll check it
But she
out.
will be competing tonight. Also tonight, just to put it out there, if you're watching this, you clearly aren't there. In Visalia, Fury FC is going on. Tons of Central California fighters.
Yeah.
The best of the best that Central California right now has to offer in the way of fighters. It's a new crop, I feel like, because we have Big Al, we have the Avalos brothers.
Yes.
These are all young, talented fighters that are making their way up. They're competing on the pro card that's going on here in Central California in Visalia. That fight is going on now. I believe you could check it out on their Fury FC Facebook page for the prelims. And then on UFC Fight Pass is where you can catch those fights. That should be an exciting night of live fights. We're doing this. We're not going to be there, unfortunately, but
it does sound like a good fight card, actually.
It really does. It's really developed into a phenomenal fight card, and kind of disappointed I'm missing it. But we got other things we got going on in our personal lives, so on to the next.
Yep.
So that's going on tonight. Exactly. Maria Henderson's competing tonight. We'll find out how she does in the LFA 135. Now, one person that we've talked about early on in her career was Clarissa Shields.
Yeah, big fan.
She is now moving back to boxing to take on Savannah Marshall to avenge
I'm not
the
a fan of
2012
that,
loss.
But I'm a fan of hers. I mean, come on. You made the transition over to MMA. What the hell? Because I don't know, and maybe I'm just more disappointed because I feel like maybe she doesn't like MMA. Maybe she just doesn't want to do that, and
it could be. It could be that it's very slow. Whereas I feel like with her boxing, she's so well versed, she can get right back in there and
she'll be fine.
Back to normal.
She'll be fine in boxing.
With MMA, she had to keep training and keep working and keep training and keep working, like she did at boxing, but just a different sport. And she wasn't ready for the layoffs that she was having in preparation.
Is that the problem? Is that the deal? Is that what she
No, I feel like it's just, PFL only runs so often.
I feel like she should spend more time training for MMA if she wants to continue. I feel like maybe she doesn't want to continue doing MMA. That's why I'm disappointed.
But
she's doing just fine, Of course, she has a lot of stuff to work on, mostly ground game, of course. But I wish she would still keep doing it. You never know. Like, she's already done so much of boxing. I thought when she moved over to MMA, it was because she was done with boxing. Now I know she probably loves boxing, but I don't know if it's a contract thing, because I don't know why you would decide to do that. I hope it's because she's bored. I hope that's what it is. But
I hope so, but it is what it is.
Whatever.
But we won't see Clarissa Shields competing in MMA for a while. Maybe never. Who knows? We'll see.
Who knows? Yeah, that's the disappointing part. I feel like it's not going to happen anymore.
Right. All right. Now moving on to another female fighter. Paige Van Zandt has found out her opponent for BKFC 27 in London. And that will be...
it's in London. Oh, that's soon, isn't it?
That's the card. That's on August 20th.
August. Okay.
That's the card with Michael Venom Page.
Right. That's why I'm excited for that.
So that's a loaded card already.
Yes.
And she'll be fighting Clarissa Segala. Segala is 1-2-1 in bare knuckle. She only fought in MMA for 5 years. She was 4-2. So, yeah.
Whatever.
I feel like good luck to Segala. I don't want to take anything away from her, but I feel like this is a feeder fight in order to give Paige Van Zandt a win, because
you never know.
She's one of the more notable fighters because of her background.
Yeah, but also they kind of shot a little too far when Paige Van Zandt first got in there, because it hasn't gone her way yet. And I mean, those girls are good. I think her first fight was Britain Hart. Is that who it was? The weirdo? She gave that really weird post fight after speech with the microphone.
I know her last fight was Rachel Ostovich. I don't remember who I think it was Britain Hart was her first fight.
It was Britain Hart, yeah. Because Ostovich came from UFC as well. But I don't really care about Paige too much. I feel, let me put it this way, I'll be surprised if she wins at this point. That would be a surprise because it hasn't gone her way so far since she's gotten in there.
Yeah.
Although I think Britain Hart might be one of the best girls that they have, and she fought her right away.
Yeah.
Although coming from Paige Van Zandt's fighting experience, she's been in UFC. That's still hard. It's not like she's never fought before. So I don't know. You can't really. I don't know. You can't really make a scapegoat out of her.
Paige Van Zandt is busy taking sexy pictures and doing pro wrestling, which even, yeah, let's not talk about her pro wrestling.
Has that even happened? Did she do it?
It has, and it was meh.
Oh, was it not good? Is she not have like that going on anymore?
I don't believe so, especially if she's probably in fight camp for this.
Oh, okay. Well, who knows?
And
so
then,
we'll see.
Also, we were talking about another fight earlier. Mike Perry vows to break Michael Page's hand on his forehead.
In the parking lot or in the ring?
No, in the fight.
Oh.
So that's the other fight that's going to be on that card. And then moving on, Felice Herrig. She just retired. And then she just unretired to sign up with BKFC.
Well, what that tells me is that she made it sound like, okay, when she put the statement out there about her retiring from UFC, she's like, I'm not in love with it anymore. You know, people get tired of fighting after so many years. It gets harder and harder. But it's not like maybe she's not in love with MMA because she literally just signed up for BKFC, which is fighting, hard fighting, like immediately. So I don't know. Unless her contract was up and she didn't want to continue. I don't know.
Maybe, but I was surprised to see that she had signed up for that.
Well, they might be paying her a lot to come over there. I feel like they are wanting females, and especially if they come from UFC, I think they will push them harder to be a headliner or, you know, just be something, because I don't think anyone really knows the current BKFC women's fighters that are not coming from UFC or other things. So
I believe you're right about that.
She's 37 though.
Yeah. So we'll see how long it lasts. Or I don't even know how long her contract is. They don't really put out how many fights.
Super tough though. I feel like she would win. So that would be really exciting to watch.
Very true.
Have her fight Paige.
That would be awesome.
Or Rachel Austin.
That would be a fight. I feel like that would sell some pay-per-view buys.
Maybe that's what they're getting at.
The names.
Maybe that's what they're gonna do. Maybe that's what they're getting at, because that would be a good that'd be a good opportunity to make money off of both of those girls and for the organization, because I think more people would watch it.
And then also John Dotson is going to be competing with Bare Knuckle. He's got a fight coming up also. So that's another notable name. A lot of UFC notables that are now competing in Bare Knuckle.
Yeah, that's okay. It's just, I feel like Bare Knuckle is like kind of wishy-washy. Like, we'll have a bunch of fight cards come out and then you won't hear anything from them for a really long time.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it is right now, because I feel like they're building towards one big fight card.
They're acquiring fighters, and they're mostly ex-MMA, so we'll see.
Yeah. So that's it for us here at the MMA Mainstream Podcast. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys next time.